safaris. My name is Sarah and I'm an educator here at the El Paso Zoo, and I'm so excited to have you all joining us here today for a very special behind the scenes look at an animal that nobody really gets to see here at the zoo. But before we get to see our animal, I am going to introduce my co-stars today. We have Dr. Vicky, our veterinarian here at the El Paso Zoo. We have Tori, one of our zookeepers. And we also have Tasha, our supervisor of this area of the zoo. And so here in just a moment, what we're going to be seeing is a training session as well as a hoof trim with one of our animals that people never really get to see here at the zoo, because these animals actually live back behind the scenes across from our commissary and animal medical center. And so without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and we can go ahead and get started with our introduction of Stevie, our Ossabaw Island hog. So what we're going to be doing today is a training session again. So here at the zoo, we use what's called operant conditioning. What that means is we ask our animals to participate in their own care by asking them to do different behaviors that really help us to get a good close look at them, make sure that they're getting some exercise and also mental stimulation. But with that operant conditioning, we're able to ask our animals to really participate in their own health care. So again, today, here's Stevie, our 8-year-old Ossabaw Island hog. What we're going to be doing, as you can see, Tori is actually asking him to move to the cue stick so that he can actually go onto a board here where we are going to be doing that hoof trim with him today. Now, every time he does touch that cue stick, we are hearing a whistle. That is actually called a bridge in training, and that lets him know that he's doing what we're asking him to do. And then, of course, he gets lots of rewards for doing these behaviors. Now again, today we are going to be doing a hoof trim with Stevie, and this is something really important for our Ossabaw Island hogs because we really want to make sure that they have those healthy feet. With Ossabaw Island hogs, out in the wild, they're actually much smaller than ours are here at the zoo, or generally under human care. Out in the wild, males can actually get up to about 200 pounds, but here, and under human care, these hogs can get much larger. Stevie actually weighs in at about 450 pounds. And so that healthy foot care is very important. Now you will hear some noise from the tools that we're using today. We'll explain those a little bit more afterwards. But as you can see, we are actually getting up nice and close. And we have Dr. Vicky working on those hooves. So this is again a hoof trim. So if you are having any trouble hearing me, I apologize again. We have those tools that are very important for this hoof trim. But here, while we are working on his feet, I'm going to go ahead and talk a little bit about Ossabaw Island hogs. Now, when I was first learning about these hogs, I was thinking, where is Ossabaw Island? Well, it's actually part of North America. It's part of the United States. It's actually an island just south of Savannah, Georgia. Now, with the Ossabaw Island hogs, they actually have a really interesting history. What actually happened, they are descendants of Spanish pigs. Now, of course, we know pork is a very important food for Spain, for people in Spain. And so they definitely have their livestock that they depend on. And, back in the 16th century, the Spanish conquistadors actually brought these hogs over to the Americas, and they released them. Now, over time, the ones that were in, Georgia and the mainland of Georgia, they did mix with domesticated pigs, and their breed changed slightly. But what's so unique about the Ossabaw Island hogs is that they lived on an island, so they kept all of those unique traits that were in line with the Spanish pigs that they are descendants from. So some of the unique things that they have is, their coloring. Out on the island, they actually experienced insular dwarfism, which means they actually developed to be smaller than most typical hogs. But they also have some unique traits as well. With Ossabaw Island hogs, they actually have a very interesting, low-grade, non-insulin-dependent type of diabetes, which makes them great for researching and understanding more about diabetes, but also they're able to hold on to more fat or retain more fat on their body than most hogs typically can, and that's because on Ossabaw Island they had to kind of get used to what was available there, get used to their habitat and the food resources. And so out on Ossabaw Island, they didn't quite have as much food during the spring, whereas during the winter they would have a lot more food availability, and so they would actually store the fat from the food that they would eat in the winter so that it could sustain them through the spring when there was less food. Now, hogs are omnivores, so that means that they can eat meat and they can eat plants. So here's we can talk a little bit with our keepers about what Stevie gets in his daily diet. But out in the wild, what they would eat during the spring months is they would eat fruits and tubers, different types of plants. And then in the winter months, they would actually eat more of the insects and crabs and different things like that. So they would get, again, more of that protein, more of that food availability during the winter. Now, in the island, they could live across all different types of habitats. Even though it's just an island, there are different types of habitats that they would live on. So on the beaches, in the marshes, the ponds, the forests. And so, again, what they would do is they would spend their day looking around, rooting around for food. And of course, if there was a mud wallow, I know hogs love to play in the mud. It's a great thing for their skin as well. So they had a great, they have a great island lifestyle. Now, here at the zoo, of course, we have our own Ossabaw Island hogs. As you can see, we are working on Stevie's feet. He's getting lots of treats as he's having that footwork done. So he's keeping those feet healthy, almost getting his hog petted here today. But we actually have 7 hogs here at the zoo. Now, as I've mentioned, these are actually called a heritage breed. And what that means is, as defined by the American Livestock Conservancy, a heritage breed are actually livestock breeds that have been bred or raised by our forefathers. So they've been around for a very long time, and they have unique characteristics compared to the livestock that we have today. So these are actually a very important breed for us to try to conserve and try to protect and make sure we have a good population of them. Again, according to the American Livestock Conservancy, they are actually, kind of a critical status right now because there's less than 200 of them in, different facilities. And so, here at the zoo, we are doing our best part to try to keep a healthy population. And so Stevie here, he actually has a girlfriend named Nellie, and they've actually had 5 offspring of their own. So we have a total of 7 Ossabaw Island hogs here at the zoo. Now, our hope is that some of our hogs will be able to move out to other facilities, so we are looking for other facilities for them. And before the COVID-19 emergency, we actually did have a couple ideas or places in mind. But until that happens, we are always and continually going to be offering them a happy home here at the El Paso Zoo. But with that, it looks like we finished up with Stevie's footwork. And so what we're going to do now is we are going to go over to our keepers and to our veterinarians. We're going to get a little bit more information from them. So I'm going to step back here with you guys. So, one thing that I want to know, because we know all of our animals here at the zoo have very different personalities, how would you describe Stevie with one word or a short phrase?
I would say picky.
Yeah.
Picky about what he eats, picky about who he likes. He's a very picky individual.
Okay, Tori?
He is very intelligent, as most hogs and pigs are. He does pick up on things very quickly. He's the friendliest hog.
The friendliest hog. Okay, great. Now, do you guys have any fun stories or special experiences that you've had with them?
When I first started conditioning, I had never conditioned before. So Stevie was my first animal. And so it was a learning curve for me to be able to get that close to him, but with his friendly nature, it didn't take long for us to warm up to one another.
Aw, that's great.
I think my favorite thing with Stevie is when he gets a mud wallow, because he acts like a little pig again. He's super energetic and rolling around in the water and throwing mud everywhere. He's a lot of fun in the summertime when he can actually play in the water.
I would say my favorite thing about Stevie is that he actually likes me, and as a veterinarian, most of the animals don't like me because they know I'm the woman who comes with the syringes and the needles and maybe the things to trim their nails, and they don't like that. So Stevie, way back when he was in a different enclosure, I used to go by and talk to Stevie and scratch him, and now he lets me touch his feet. So I made friends with Stevie. He really hates the other vet. So.
Well, and we all saw how easy it was for us to have Stevie come in here and work with us today. This is something that our keepers practice every single day, having them come in and kind of go through this routine so that we can practice that footwork. And then can you describe a little bit how what exactly you were doing there with your tools or?
Sure. Stevie is an overweight hog. Don't tell him. Stevie's overweight, and he's kind of an older hog too, so he tends to have some arthritis, and it's important to keep his feet in good condition to help him walk as comfortably as possible. If those feet, their feet continuously grow, just like our toenails, so if those nails on his feet keep growing, they can make his feet angle back and be really uncomfortable and cause arthritis and damage to his ligaments. So it's really important that we keep his feet not overgrown, and it keeps him from getting cracks on his hooves and from getting arthritis in his feet and getting ligament damage and permanent damage to his feet. So it keeps him a lot more comfortable. And we do this every couple weeks and take just a tiny bit off at a time, so it's a continuous process. It's not a big amount or a big change every time.
Well, have there been any questions coming in? We definitely want to encourage people to ask any questions that you have.
How old is he?
So how old is Stevie?
So Stevie is 8 years old, as is Nellie.
This is Nellie, his girlfriend. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Nellie came to visit us. She is in the stall behind us. She wanted to see what was happening and came to get her little minute in the spotlight too.
Do they have horns or tusks?
Do they have horns or tusks?
So they have tusks. They don't have horns. Males and females both have tusks. The females are going to be a lot smaller. I'm sure as you guys saw in the video, Stevie's are longer and curled. I'd say they're probably 5 inches.
I don't know. There's a lot of tusk under the
Yeah,
lip.
so I don't know how
They
much
don't
is back there, but
They can do a lot of damage, especially in the wild, and if those tusks are sharp, they can do a lot of damage. So an unfriendly hog or a wild hog is nothing really to mess with. Luckily, these guys are friendly and they're used to us.
What is Stevie's favorite food?
That was actually going to be one of my questions. What is Stevie's favorite food?
Without a doubt, peanuts. Without a doubt, that's his favorite food. Though we do try and give him a nice balanced diet. He gets grain and lettuce every day. Lettuce in the wintertime, he gets fresh browse in the springtime, and then fruits and veggies are what we were actually using today to get him to cooperate. Apple and sweet potato are usually the ones
Get the
we
healthy
use.
things in.
Yeah, we try to sneak it in there. So
Awesome.
How did he get his name?
How did he get his name? Who named him?
I don't
oh
know.
my gosh, he's been here longer than we have. So
Yeah, he was actually named for a former staff person at the zoo who really liked hogs, and he really wanted a hog named after him. So his full name is Steve Areno. So Steve Areno, it goes by Stevie, but he's named after a staff member.
Awesome. Now, just to, since we've talked a lot about Stevie, can you guys go through and name all the other hogs that we have here? I mentioned that we have 7 altogether, so go ahead.
So Stevie and Nellie are the parents of the piglets. We have Frankie, Dean, Trudy, Piper, and Sammy.
And are there any like interesting characteristics, or personality traits, I guess, from any of them that you can just?
Well, Trudy likes to be she's very social. You'll find her up near the enclosures when people are in the service area. Sammy and Piper tend to be more laid back. They don't really want to be around. They want to just do their own thing. But Frankie and Dean are the brothers that are in the next enclosure, and they are a bonded pair. So they have been together their whole life, and they will stay that way.
I think that's something also really interesting about hogs. They have very strong social dynamics, and they form very strong bonds. Their groups, their social hierarchy, and their groups dynamic is very important to them, and it can be really hard to change that. So if we just wanted to say put Stevie over with Frankie, that's not going to go very well. So hogs, once they establish their family group and their social group, it can take a while to change that, and we have to be very careful about introducing new hogs or changing who's hanging out with who. And we have to be careful about making sure we don't accidentally separate them for too long and make them wary of that guy who went away for a little while. So we got to keep the groups together and help them keep their strong social bonds. That's really important to them.
So that's something really important that we're gonna.
oh no, I was going to say Nellie's the other one. She's the sassiest out of the bunch.
Sassiest.
That's her.
Love it. Awesome. Well, are there any last questions that we can answer before we head out? Okay, well, with that, I do want to say make sure you keep sending in your questions. We'll be answering them throughout the rest of the day, but I hope to see you all again at our 2 o'clock Sofa Safari, where we have a very exciting announcement and a debut of one of our newest animals here at the zoo. So again, thank you everybody, and we'll see you later. Bye!